They don't know Clayton Williams.
And now, from Austin's leading news station, this is the Channel 7 News 5 o'clock reports with Stephanie Williams, Neil Speltz, Connor Vernon with weather, and Dave Cody on sports.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Williams.
And I'm Neil Speltz, and thanks so much for joining us. The man convicted and sentenced to die for the 1978 killing of Austin police officer Ralph Ablanedo is getting a new trial.
The State Court of Criminal Appeals today reversed David Lee Powell's conviction. Police reporter Lisa Kasolu has been following this story. She is in our newsroom now with more. Lisa.
Stephanie, this was actually the third time that Powell's case had been reviewed by the Court of Criminal Appeals. Both times in the past, his conviction was upheld. But today, that conviction was reversed following a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court had thrown out Powell's death sentence on grounds that Powell was not warned his statements to a psychiatrist and psychologist could be used against him in court. He was tried. The suspects did not have to be warned. It's a technicality that's hard for police and Ablanedo's family to understand.
Our family's going to have to go through it again. And, you know, it's so senseless, it's needless, it's painful. And who's to say 10 years down the road that it might get reversed again? You know, how long does this proceed? You know, when is the judicial system going to get simplistic enough that you can't murder people and get away with it?
Ablanedo was the last Austin officer shot in the line of duty. The night he was killed, he had pulled over Powell and his accomplice, Sheila Meinert, who was also convicted, on a routine traffic stop. As they were driving off, Ablanedo was notified of an outstanding warrant. He attempted to stop them again when Powell shot Ablanedo with an automatic rifle through the back of his car. And Stephanie, Meinert was released from prison last August.
All right, Lisa, thanks for that report. In other news, an Austin man is charged with attempted capital murder, and the actions of 2 police officers are being questioned. This all resulted from an overnight incident at the Comfort Inn on Gessner Drive. The 2 officers were rounding up drug suspects in the parking lot. Police say this man, Wayne Eugene Walker, tried to escape arrest by attempting to run down one of the officers with his car. The police fired several rounds at the suspect. He was not hit. Walker was charged today with attempted capital murder. 6 other suspects were arrested on drug charges. A routine investigation is underway to see if the officers' actions were warranted. Elsewhere around the state, 3 Van Zandt County deputies were wounded last night during a drug raid near Canton. The deputies were part of the East Texas Drug Task Force and were serving search warrants at 2 rural residences when the shooting occurred. A DPS spokesman says the officers were fired on as they entered one of the homes. 1 deputy returned fire, but no one was hit. 2 of the men were hospitalized. The 3rd was treated and released.
There is word this afternoon that a woman was allegedly repeatedly raped over a day-and-a-half period after being held in an Austin apartment complex. Austin police say 4 suspects apparently abducted the woman at gunpoint Monday night from this North Austin food store and parking lot. Police say they all drove away in her car to an undisclosed apartment complex. The woman said she escaped this morning and contacted Austin police. She was treated and released today from Brackenridge Hospital. Police are now looking for the suspects that are described as black males between the ages of 20 and 40, possibly driving the woman's car, which is a 1982 beige 2-door Mercury Cougar, and the license plate number is YML73. Austin investigators are also in San Antonio today to see if there's a connection between restaurant robberies in the 2 cities. 2 Austin restaurants were robbed Sunday night. Patrons and employees were forced to the floor, their money and valuables taken by 4 suspects. In San Antonio, a string of very similar robberies has taken place recently. Police there do have 1 suspect. Bastrop school trustees will review allegations that teachers are violating the state's discipline policy for students. Parents complained to board members last night that students are being punished at times unnecessarily, and that in many cases parents are not being notified about the disciplinary actions. Parents asked trustees if they could help devise and enforce acceptable guidelines for punishing students. But board members say before any changes are made, they need more information on the allegations.
And, if you will do what I asked of you and itemize those relationships that exist on these 7 or 8 complaints, then we will get you a report by next board meeting. and we will study that report, so we'll bring ourselves up to date.
Okay. Would the board be willing to take action to suspend corporal punishment pending the resolution of these problems?
I don't think this board would. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wouldn't be in favor of it. No, ma'am.
Bastrop board members will give the community their report on the school discipline incidents during their March meeting. Well, with the third legislative special session just 6 days away, state lawmakers are already being courted for more money. Today, the Texas Department of Human Services and the Texas Department of Health told lawmakers they're facing serious cash shortages.
We're running out of money. The same thing you heard from DHS.
That's $600 million of money that at some point we're going to have to come up with, whether you implement it now or implement it 2 years from now. And I want to be sure that that's what we're hearing you say. Yes, sir.
The Texas Department of Human Services estimates that over the next 2 years, they will need $785 million more to provide existing services. State health department officials say they need $4 million more to keep the state's chronically ill and crippled children's program afloat. At least half that amount was approved by emergency budget shifting maneuvers.
In Washington, a former dissident playwright, now president of Czechoslovakia, received a rousing show of support from American lawmakers. Václav Havel was given a standing ovation by a joint session of Congress this morning. Speaking mostly through an interpreter, the former political prisoner told Congress a world dominated by the two superpowers is an antiquated straitjacket from which Europe is now breaking free. He also said American troops will be able to return home once the new governments of Eastern Europe learn to stand guard over themselves. With the possibility of major troop reductions in Eastern Europe, the Pentagon is preparing to downsize the U.S. war machine, which means cutbacks on military contracts. Washington correspondent Andy Field tells us how the people who make our military planes, ships, and atomic weapons plan to survive this outbreak of peace.
Workers at Seattle's Boeing aircraft don't like hearing defense cut talk, but they've ridden the military spending roller coaster for years, and they still have jobs. Are they worried about Uncle Sam's defense cuts?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Because I've been here too long.
I don't think I'll be laid off.
Boeing's a big company, and you can always find somewhere else.
The workers are optimistic because, like many contractors, Boeing has switched a lot of work from military to civilian airplanes. But those employees might want to check with their boss before they assume their jobs are secure.
We obviously can't keep people when we don't have work for them to do.
The military plane makers may be getting competition from companies like H-Cubed. H-Cubed makes robot planes that fly and attack targets without a pilot. The Pentagon is looking for low-cost ideas. These mini fighter planes may be the answer.
The man looking at the video screen sees the tank and sees it getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it could go boom.
A stealth bomber costs about $500 million. One of these radio-controlled airplanes costs about as much as a nice mid-sized car. And you can fill an entire Air Force full of these airplanes for the cost of one stealth bomber.
Of course, you can't solve every spending and fighting problem with mini radio-controlled airplanes. Boeing and other military contractors will still be making thousands of new weapons well into the next century. Because despite what's happened in Eastern Europe, the soldiers in the field know one thing hasn't changed.
I think most people recognize that it's still a dangerous world out there, that there are still some people whose interests do not coincide with our interests and who might present a threat to the United States.
In Washington, I'm Andy Field.
Coming up next on the 5 o'clock report, if you haven't taken part in our Call the Doctor program, you better hurry. Just 2 nights are left.
And we'll preview tonight's Grammy Awards and tell you who from Texas has been nominated.
Show. Once a month, Cliff's father and his friend Homer come over here to destroy Cliff.
A friendly game of cards.
Well, since you threw your ace in my face, I may have to bump your rump with my trump. Methinks I hear the flapping wings of the birds of prey.
And though they cheated and lied.
By the turn of this trick, the score is now tied.
These movies have to be back tomorrow, right?
Relax. With Blockbuster Video's 3 evening rentals, you'll have plenty of time to watch all the newest releases, like Ghostbusters 2. It's too spooky.
Ooh, you're scaring me. Stop it.
It's too much.
Do you know how weird it is out there?
Ghostbusters 2, now available on video cassette from RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video. More movies, more nights, more fun.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
21st century technology works day and night to link all Walgreens pharmacies, so your current Walgreens prescription records are always as close as your nearest Walgreens. With Intercom, we can tell you when savings are available. We may even help prevent an allergic reaction. Concerned pharmacists, superior healthcare technology, only at Walgreens.
Here's a double good offer from Walgreens. Get a second set of big 35mm 4x6-inch show prints free, including a free $1.99 value album.
It's plain as day.
This is too easy. Can't you tell?
America's coffee drinkers are discovering that Maxwell House Instant looks more like fresh ground coffee than these instant coffee crystals.
Crystals and coffee, huh? Smells rich.
Maxwell House is blended with Colombian beans. It looks, smells, and tastes
like fresh ground.
Delicious. Maxwell House Instant. Everything about it says
fresh ground taste.
Stormy Jones was back in the operating room today at the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital. Doctors rushed her into surgery after her blood pressure dropped, which indicated internal bleeding. The 12-year-old from White Settlement made medical history 6 years ago when she became the world's first heart-lung transplant recipient.
Well, do you have your medical questions ready? The Call the Doctor phone bank will reopen in just 1 hour. 25 doctors will be on standby, prepared to answer your concerns. Our health reporter, Stephanie Wynn, is down at the Call the Doctor headquarters at Palmer Auditorium. Stephanie, are you ready for day 3 now?
We're about to fire up the phone lines, Neil, here at Call the Doctor. If you haven't already called in, give it a shot. You might find a great deal of relief by getting that medical question that's been bugging you for a long time answered. As we've been telling you, the Travis County Medical Society has joined with Channel 7 in bringing you this project. With me right now is the director of the Medical Society. He is Ed Smith. And it's never been a problem getting the volunteers, has it?
Not a bit, Stephanie. You'll find 50 doctors on duty tonight. They like each other, and they like the patients that they serve in Austin, and they come here and have a good time. So we'll have volunteers manning the phones as usual tonight.
We got about 10,000 calls last year. Do you think we're going to top that number this year?
It certainly seems so. They were very busy the last 2 nights. We've got tonight and then tomorrow night to go. So we hope the public will come through with those calls and give us a chance to help them out.
Why do you think there is such an interest in calling? The anonymity, I guess, is a big part of it. But people are just finding this just a real popular program to be a part of each year.
Well, that's true. And I think that just the opportunity to talk to a physician, when they call that number, a doctor answers the phone. So they're interested in themselves, and the doctors are interested in helping them. So it's a good mix.
Now, the free medical help does not end tomorrow night with our Call the Doctor program, does it? There's something else that's being offered by the Medical Society.
Certainly is. An exciting program, an exciting week for us. We'll have Health Fest both Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5 right here at Palmer Auditorium. So we hope the public will come through and enjoy the free testing and the opportunity to talk to physicians one-on-one during that exhibit.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Smith. We'll again have more information on Health Fest for you tomorrow. 2 nights left, though, to take advantage of the Call the Doctor program. Again, the phone lines will be open until 10 o'clock tonight. You can start calling at 6, same hours tomorrow. Here's the phone number to call. Once again, 322-5777. That's 322-5777. And remember to call 1 first if you're calling from outside the area. Stephanie and Neil, have you called in yet?
We're trying. We've each got several pages worth of questions that we're waiting to get answered. Thanks, Stephanie. Tonight's the big night for the music industry, the Grammys. And as in the past, there is quite a Texas connection this year. 3 Texans have been nominated for country male vocalists: Rodney Crowell, Clint Black, and Lyle Lovett. Black and Crowell also have songs nominated for Country Song of the Year. 2 Austin groups have been nominated for their instrumental work: Asleep at the Wheel and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Vaughn joins Delbert McClinton in the Contemporary Blues category, and Guy Clark is in the Contemporary Folk category for his Old Friends album. The awards show can be seen tonight right here on Channel 7, beginning at 7. And it's been a stormy day today. Connor's up next with our forecast.
And he'll be talking about the problems associated with that winter storm which has rocked North Texas. Stay with us.
When I saw the finished product, I couldn't believe my eyes. John William Interiors blended other styles and other periods in with my house, and it turned out beautifully. Everyone that comes into my home is so pleased. It's a very comfortable setting. I am thrilled with the results. It's a finished product, and it's something I'm very proud of. It's a masterpiece, a beautiful, beautiful, comfortable, loving home.
We furnish your lifestyle for less. John William Interiors.
The winner. In Texas, Ford is #1, period. Final score, 11,596 more Ford sold than our closest competition. 11,596 more satisfied Texas Ford owners. Why? Because Ford has America's best-built, best-selling cars and trucks. So next time you hear someone claiming they're #1 in Texas, just remember this number. Or better still, remember this.
Texas Ford and you.
At Albertsons, we think like you do, which means big savings on your grocery bills. Choose Min and Antiperspirant. Get 2 1/4 ounce speed stick or 4 ounce Lady Speed spray, your choice, $1.97. Always delicious and juicy Butterball frozen tom turkeys make a healthy choice too, just 87 cents a pound. For a tasty low-cal meal, Starkist Chunk Light Tuna. Order water pack 6 1/2 ounce can, 66 cents. So when you want to save big on your grocery bills, remember, at Albertsons, we think like you do.
Austin, let me talk to you. You too, B-Cave. I had to do that. Seriously, I don't need to tell you about the quality of Jimmy Dean sausage. You know that. But some of you still haven't tried it. And for those of you who haven't tried it, we're going to try to hit you where it feels good, right in the pocketbook. We've lowered the price of Jimmy Dean sausage because we think if you try it, we got you hooked. And for those of you who have used it all along, just consider this our way of saying we thank you a bunch.
Well, we got rain showers around the area today. We actually thought that they would start yesterday. They waited until the middle of last night, and then we had cloudy skies all day. And it looks like most of the rain now moved away from us. We can look for cloudy and cool, breezy conditions over the next couple of days. Let's go to our eye in the sky. This is satellite photographs, a series of them to show you what's been happening during the past 24 hours or so. Keep in mind, we mention this every day because it's important. The green is the enhanced cloud tops. That's where most of the moisture in the clouds are located. And you can see that it's stretching right up through the midsection of the nation. A lot of moisture coming up from the Gulf. Plus, we have another couple little series of storms out in the Pacific that we're certainly going to keep our eye on over the next couple of days. Really, though, this system did not produce as much snow as we originally anticipated that it would, at least as far south as we initially thought, that we may even get a flick or two in the San Angelo area, maybe in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but most of the snow stayed in the Panhandle. They had a nice white couple of days up there. As for us, we had the clouds, and today we finally got the rain. During the past 24 hours, 52 degrees, officially the low, 59 the high for today. We checked in with just over 3/4 of an inch of rain. And by the way, if you check the records back through history for Austin, this typically is one of the rainiest days historically in February. Matter of fact, over 3.5 inches of rain is the record for February, and it occurred on this day. Yesterday, ironically, one of the least likely days for rain, and we should have checked the records a little closer before we made our prediction. Of course, really, when you look back at records, it's the same thing they do in almanacs. They look back over the past 30, 40, 50 years, average everything up, and then say, okay, we think it's going to be like this. That's how the almanacs are figured. Most of them are. 6:24 is sunset today. Sun will be coming up at 7:05 in the morning. Right now, we have streaky clouds. They will continue to be streaky looking for the next couple of days. 59 degrees, humidity's clocking in at 70%, wind out of the northwest at 9, and the pressure's at 29.82 inches and falling at this hour. Rain showers, mostly in the eastern corner of the state, some of them stretching back up over the Red River there. Really the heavier showers that produce the possibility for flooding in central Texas earlier today. The yellow and the orange here is continuing to push to the east-northeast. Really, Louisiana, places like Mississippi and Alabama will continue to be under the gun when it comes to rain showers. Most of them are out of our area and will continue to be. We have clouds, though, just a big blanket of clouds, really separating the eastern half of the state from the western half of the state. Just a little few high clouds out there in the Trans-Pecos, none of any consequence at all. The system, the center of the system right now, is located almost right over the top of the Beaumont area, down around Orange, Texas, indicated here with this little low pressure area. Cooler air is filtering in behind it, the winds around it circulating that cool breeze in, and that's why we expect to have streaky clouds and breezy conditions for the next couple of days. Most of the rain showers around the nation are stretching from the Gulf all the way up into the Kansas area, and then, as we mentioned, down along the Gulf Coast. What's the forecast for us? Well, here it is. Streaky clouds, windy, and cooler than it has been. We'll be right at 40 degrees in the morning. That'll be a big change for us with the wind out of the northwest for the rest of this evening. Tomorrow, it will be almost chilly early in the morning, then breezy and mild for most of the day. We'll have a few clouds hanging around with an afternoon high in the low 60s. And really, that's the forecast for the next couple of days. Really chilly early in the morning, but then mild. So we'll say breezy and mild is the forecast for Friday and Saturday. Early morning lows in the upper 30s. By Sunday, the clouds will start to return back to the area. We had rainfalls reported of 2.5 inches in Palacios. We had inch and a quarter in the Victoria area. We had 3/4 of an inch, some isolated amounts over 2 inches. So it was a good beneficial rain for us.
Good drenching rains where they need it, but our chance for any more significant rain really is over for several days.
At least through the weekend.
And we're missing the freeze, it looks like.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a while, it seems like.
Streaky clouds. Does that mean clouds streak across the sky?
They're torn apart. They're torn apart. You really can't describe them.
They're beautiful clouds
Streaky
today.
clouds.
Thanks, Connor.
Coming up next in sports, Cliff Gustafson and his Longhorns are looking for their 6th straight home victory as they take on Southwestern University.
Dave Cody will have highlights next in sports.
Is your shirt a pain in the neck? Are your unmentionables sometimes unbearable? Maybe you have sensitive skin and your clothes are trying to tell you something. Well, now there's new dermatologist-tested Sheer Free, a detergent free of dyes, free of perfumes, so your clothes are free of the residue that can irritate sensitive skin. So next time your washing is rubbing you the wrong way, don't change your clothes. No. Change your detergent.
If someone you love drinks too much, please listen, because I know what's going on in your mind. You're thinking if I just wait, things will get better. You're thinking I can't get him help. He doesn't want it. How do I know? Because that's what I used to think.
If someone you love has a drug or alcohol problem, call us. Call for the healing 30 years experience brings to your problem. The healing begins the moment you call.
Just as you'll always find a helping hand at home, Walmart always has the low price on the brands you use each day. Favorite brands like Edge Shave Gel for the ultimate defense against razor irritation. Now just $1.32 in the specially marked package. And save on Agree shampoo and conditioner. With a 50-cent coupon right on the package, you pay only $1.82 at Walmart. Always a low price on the brands you trust. Always.
We're with you all the way.
How do you keep that long drive from taking an unexpected turn? Who can make the difference between just a trip and a vacation? Where do you go when Rover turns your picnic into his snack?